By the end of this video, I'm going to share with you the one shift that I made within my short form content strategy that I use to build a lot of trust with my audience. And not only does it build trust with my audience, it positions me as an authority. The way that I create content now shows people that I know exactly what I'm talking about and that I am a professional. But before that, I'm going to walk you through a little bit of the psychology behind this. I took a step back and I looked at the bigger picture of content and all the different types of platforms. And YouTube isn't the most powerful platform. I realized that Twitch is, because it's a streaming platform. You look at guys like iShowSpeed, Kai Cenat. The reason why these guys are doing so well, because we all know it, when Speed went to China, he had hundreds of thousands of people in person wanting to see him. So that just really shows the power of streaming. And what is that power though? The power is really time, because it creates a parasocial relationship between you and your viewer. These guys know everything about Speed, where he's born, what his real name is, what he likes to do. They feel like they're best friends with him. It's a different level of connection than it is to consuming a bunch of YouTube videos. And look, I'm not telling you to start streaming. What this video is about is really to take the principles and understand the psychology behind why it works so well and how we can apply it to our own business and our content strategy. Well, here's the number one thing that I've applied to my content now. I stopped editing my content. And yes, look, this video is completely edited. I added sound, I chopped it up, I made it good. But that's for YouTube, because YouTube, the algorithm is optimized for retention. So if I just had this video without any cuts and I just had long pauses, I'm actually doing a disservice to my viewer because I'm wasting their time. So normally I would clip up all these videos, have them edited, nice and polished, put them on my Instagram. But what I've done differently, and I've experimented with this, I've seen the results. Here are the results. Because I started making videos with iPhone because I saw this trend going around of like speaking without any filler words or any cuts. And I thought it was so powerful because it shows people that you can speak in real time. And if you can showcase in a short amount of time that you know exactly what you're talking about, that you're an authority and that people should listen to you and why people should listen to you all in one reel. Hence the reason why some of these streamers are pretty much using their power of speaking and their power of just their organic presence of who they are. They mess up their words, they mess up all these things. They don't speak in a perfect one line, but they still can get their point across. And it just takes practice. So that's what I did. And so I started making videos like that aren't highly edited, that are just one take, because it gives people an insider glimpse on what it's like watching maybe my YouTube videos or even working with me or hopping on a call with me. And that's ultimately the best thing that you have to do, because you need to show people who you really are at the top of funnel. You have to think of your top of funnel reels as a job interview. I only have one shot at making a really good impression. How am I gonna do that? And one of the best ways you can do that is by speaking clearly, showing up confidently, being presentable, and having a clear goal in mind of what it is that you're trying to get across to the camera, and doing it all without any editing. See, all of those things I just said, that is the sauce for mastering short form content. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to become that guy that has to edit all of their content every single day if you're trying to go for volume. And when you're trying to go for volume with a short form content, that's the best way and the most fastest way that you're going to grow your page and ultimately generate a ton of warm organic leads into your YouTube content. So it's really, really, really extremely beneficial to master this, and you're just going to get better over time. Look, you're not going to be able to hop on the camera if you haven't done this before and speak in a complete perfect 1 minute monologue about whatever it is, and having, you know, a hook and having pattern interrupts and having a payoff and call to action, like all in one line. You got to practice this stuff, and I'm not telling you that you're going to practice it a little bit and then get good overnight. No, it takes every single day. That's why you need to make it a habit to create content every single day. Every single day you need to make at least one video. You need to pick up the phone and just start recording and start speaking, and you don't even have to post it. You literally don't need to post anything if you don't want to. No one's telling you to post anything. You can just make it for your camera roll and you can look back on it, and then when you're confident enough and you're happy with the result that you have in your speaking ability and how well you can articulate your thoughts, go for it, post it. I would urge you to post all those videos though. It's a huge thing that I'm telling you to do. I'm not perfect either. I wrote out some frameworks for some of these videos. I had to understand in my mind, what am I going to talk about? What are the things I'm going to say? What are the examples I'm going to talk about? And then what's my call to action? And I've been able to do it. So if I can do it, you can do it. The number one reason why it's so powerful is because it hits the exact psychology that streamers are using right now to see the success that they're having. It's because you're giving people a glimpse of who you really are at the rawest form. You show your mistakes you're making. You can slip up your words, it's fine, but if you can still deliver on that value and get people to like sit through that whole thing, it incentivizes your viewer to watch your video all the way through, because they're in their head thinking there's no cuts. Oh, it sounds more natural. You're putting that subconscious belief into your viewer's mind that you are an authority, that you know what you're talking about and that you're really articulate and professional on camera. I'm telling you this from my firsthand experience. There's a guy I used to watch. He would just film YouTube videos without even having any editing or cuts, which is crazy. And I would just sit there watching, and I didn't even realize that he didn't have any cuts until like 4 or 5 minutes in, and I'm like, yo, this guy's just been talking for 5 minutes straight. This is crazy. I'm like, I need to learn that skill. So the people who are actually crushing it are the ones who can speak really well on camera because they know this stuff really well. Not only does it show that you are very knowledgeable, that you know what you're talking about, it also shows that you are a trusted source because the pressure's on and someone is like sitting there like, oh, when's the video gonna cut? And it doesn't cut, people are like, oh damn. If there's one thing that you should take away from this video is understand the longer that you can spend with your viewer in an organic way, the more trust you're going to build with that viewer. And the best way to do that is by showing who you are organically and doing it in a way that positions you as an authority by showcasing how well you can speak about the topics that you're talking about, because you're so good at the things that you do already that it's all in your head and you need to just put it out there, and you can do it without having any cuts or editing. You don't need any of that, I guarantee you. And if you're just starting your personal brand and you have a skill, you know exactly what you're doing, you have a business, and you just don't really know what the correct steps in order to do all of these things and to have this positioning with a personal brand, there's a link down below. Follow the next steps and book a free consultation call, and I'll give you all the sauce I have in my head for free. I'll find all the bottlenecks in your business, in your personal brand, in your content, and point you in the right direction, whether that's with me or with someone else. At the end of the day, I'm just here to help. And if I can have a small impact on your personal brand and your journey within your business, that's everything to me. You don't need the editing, you just need to be able to present yourself well enough to the point where you don't even need editing. And at the same time, look, there really isn't no right way to do it. All I'm saying here is that by doing it this way, it really optimizes for building that trust and creating that connection, that parasocial relationship between you and your viewer. But if you made it all the way up until this point, let me know if this information was helpful or if it wasn't. But either way, thank you for watching and stay locked in, my friend.